Hello, how are you doing tonight? Nippon Hakwa.
Yes,
I can hear you.
Good. Anything special going on?
I am still recovering from HND, so I feel like I'm just super tired this week. That's what,
Oh,
yeah. I was surprised you weren't there, Linkai.
I was gonna go, but then go because I have not registered.
Oh,
I was going to this year. I just got so busy and overwhelmed with class planning and everything. They could still register. They
hmm.
go register last minute. Last week họ biết thả nó thì register last minute nó chị. Ý cho họ hay cho cụ cho là tung bộ cấp ta nè register
Mm-hmm.
July
Mm.
để cụ tu colleague tu advisor tu change nè hay cho cụ tia là mới tu mi cả phong như ya po California tu last minute registration là tu cả nên thế so he wastes his flight.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Perhaps next time. chịวัน早上.
Yeah, they nên thế cho cụ tia only name register nên tu thể how much?
For me, I was a speaker over there at a workshop. And
Okay.
so I had a plenary grant I was able to use.
Okay.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, a couple hundred, 领到了吗?
Ừ. Cho nên thế cụ tia là à ít cho tôi register July hay để cô anh các chị tông là thoát xã lý trả để cho lựa giàu nó cũng nói okay that's fine cú là cô
Mm-hmm.
mình bị gì thế 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 mà thầu thế thế mà thầu á trên beginning of this year kia cô tu advisor nó ư tu apply to mu thả from Hmong language 101 cho
Mm-hmm.
tờ HND đó ta chỉ là reject cái proposal để cụ thể để cái liền dù là nhiều có pi thế thì
Mm.
ni hay đâu của dia cả của sát trở mà mù expose của cho chú ý ta ta cho ta agent đi chạy cho là họ sẵn của cho chú ý cho phải qua lại thì ni
Mm.
ba chỉ tàu của ấy dù nhiều có pi thì tỏ xong bùa cả dù mua experience thế dù cho program nó tới một tàu đây tới một tàu rong rồi nè
Mm.
thì có mà một thả thì what you do thì có tự ua là thì giờ là tu copy là có chữ thân trong đó là
Mm.
có chữ tàu pin nó đi ấy là ha nhớ có cho chỉ một
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I would love to see you on that stage in a couple years when they come back.
sure yeah so tonight I snip a boggle post your homework into the student portal.
Yes.
Okay, so there is a certain way that I want this homework to be done. So what I'm gonna have is one of you volunteer to share your screen. I will walk you through in doing this, and then the rest of you can follow so that you can do it the right way. Okay? So who wants to volunteer for this homework assignment?
Well, I messed up then, I guess. I had already submitted mine, so let me unsubmit it real quick.
Oh, okay. Then you
And,
might have to redo it then, if it's not the way how I'm expecting it.
yeah. No,
I think I
I have mine up again, so
Okay.
I
yeah,
would
I
love
think
to
I did
share,
this.
but I'm on two different sessions here.
Okay. What is it, cool?
Oh, kulone mai na jo ishi mo muloloki na. Sorry if I interrupt somebody in here because kuchi na to ne hai lo na. Ke jong ko kulu
Oh,
mai na ishi pi mong pi lo na. Te he jo to ha kunya out in the country na ke kulu.
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Sorry about that. 我去报想那个都还没有欢喜陶几多。I think 我 submit 过了呀，so I think I might probably have to redo mine. So I'll just go ahead and submit it.
Let me go in and check just to make
Okay.
sure before we proceed with that.
Yeah, I think you can unsubmit. I just unsubmitted mine.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I see 4 turned in assignments. So let's see what it looked like. Okay, so um, I believe this is Angel's work, and that's fine. Now, what I meant is when you do a Hmong word and then an English word, I only want 1 to 2 word describing. So, like for example, you say may could be small or little, which is great. But if you're gonna put like a whole sentence or something like that, I'm not actually looking for that because I just want quick references. So this is okay. You don't have to redo this, but just for future reference when you're turning in homework for 2 and 3, then that's what you do. So homework 1 is singular consonant, homework 2 is dual consonant, and homework 3 is triple and quadruple. You can do half and half. I only assigned 3 homework in this beginner's class because I don't want to overwhelm you. All right. So you guys did fine. It's interesting that when you guys did it, it worked out as I was expecting. And then with the homework that I assigned to other classes, it's different from this, where they had to type in like paragraph, and those didn't come back the way how I was expecting. So that's a little bit different. So this is great. So if you guys already did this, this is great. So you probably, I don't even have to go in and make any modification. So that's good. Just continue to turn in your homework, get them all turned in so I can get them graded and then return it back to you.
Then guy, can you check my if I did it correctly? I mean, I just only put ilo lumong then go only write English meaning ilo na.
Okay,
So
let me take a look. Currently, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Linh she tao lần đây. The last time I go to Molina to go the class last year in the actually go to cho the whole Google Forms na thì là mà muốn show hết the lalu mong na thì dash na thì English na nhớ hậu Google Forms thì cũng mà li muốn sai hậu ta chỉ mà họ nói thì cũng là một chỗ Google Classroom na thì cũng thì một structure cái style na cái easy for you to grade and then send your homework back to you so that you can actually see it. Họ thọ qua Google Form last year na thì của lấy mong grade thì cũng mà cho được cái spreadsheet thì cũng mà muốn xa tôi lấy thì they only see the result, they don't see their work. So it's not helping them. Yeah. So the reason why I have this third column is that Yanni showed the Hmong Jiyola, I will put the correct spelling in that third column and then send it back to you. But so far, it looks like everybody's doing very well. I'm very proud of all of you making great progress. I was gonna post something on Facebook about you guys making it all the way up to midterm and you're still being positive, so I'm very excited. Are you all excited too?
I am. I'm very excited. Like I can't I was gonna ask you like after you pick up nó ta nè, you got the khi đó khó tông gì một độ after bây giờ beginner nó only nó có một khó tông gì nữa can we start enrolling it too or bây một enroll style.
If you want to re-enroll into the beginners, you can. I'm not
Okay.
going to hold it against you. If you feel
Mm-hmm.
like you need to retake the class once again, that's totally fine with me. Um, for some people, it takes longer for them to really get a good grip of it, and
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. Each of they felt like I want to challenge myself, move on to the next level. That's totally fine with me. And then what I'm working on is an assessment. I don't know if I shared with this class yet, but I'm working on an assessment where not only need a quiz too. Each student, like, oh, I think I'm in the intermediate class, and I took some class before, and I should be in the intermediate. Then I will test you on that assessment, and then based on how you perform, I will be able to tell if I should move you to the intermediate or put you back in the beginner's class.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was just a question that I like to know. And then yeah, there có nó ta cho lúc chỉ hình dung nó kể có mà ôn tự tự tôi cho bé there có một khó next class thì cha nó kể bé một cho khó next one nó là có mà ôn tôi cho bé bao này bây giờ.
Right before finals, then
Okay.
Kumali, let me share about idea how many are actually passing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to continue, then you let me know through email, then I will make sure to have your name on the next list to come
Okay.
back to beginners. And if you want to move on to the next level, the Gumwei form that I will send out right around finals time that you can register to move on to the next level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So just a question. How do you feel with this class with the vocabulary being shared every night for the class? Is it helping you building and developing your vocabulary, or is it a waste of time? Or I'm just curious because when the student look what their children can go through the vocabulary, not to them they feel like it's a waste of their time. They just want to get the lesson over and out of the way. And I was like, well, how are you going to build your Hmong vocabulary if you're not interested in learning about this? Because that's what makes change different from other learning institutions. It's for you to build your vocabularies.
I think for me, I don't know how the rest of the class feel like, but I think that with Kenya, I think the vocabulary really helped because nếu họ một đua here nếu khi nào đó có giờ cũng mất sai thì cũng chỉ linh họ chỉ chính ni có khi chú linh là cũng sai thì cũng chỉ bảo cho là nè cái cũng sai thì họ chính chính dù tôi bảo hay là mong lợi thì chỉ có tôi chỉ bảo cho tạo niệm nó nè cái chỉ bảo cho là mình cho ok cái xong ni có cho hay lo lo hay tia ít tây tây cho luôn mà ý là li bé thầu bé hay giống như li tia có mù nó mà linh thừa tây mấy spell tao mình chỉ là thời có hay tia tỷ tỷ tây tỷ chơi nó là tỷ mù út nó là mù lựa chọn lù nè chị nữ có chút mà spell nè chị cũng trai cho họ nè chị cũng nhiều li họ có khi li nói có mà khi li ý ấy cho mình nhiều nhiều họ biết li preschool tôi mới kindergarten này có utility bao nè so nó mới học được kinh so I don't know how the rest of the other class feel like but that's how I feel like. I think learning like this is something more for me to understand more than just jump to the next thing. Getting to chori na na. Ke cũng nhiều khả năng mà. Cho khỏi họ thức của chỉ tao tao ke của ta cá lần chơi cái đôi ha. Của ta cá lần muốn được cho lần nhìn nên nè. Họ giờ thì có kia một giờ là cái tên bạc của chỉ chọn cá xí nè.
Có cú mẹ mà cú hay cho vocabulary thấu bí kia cú thả ra phong trở lúa.
Con đâu mà,
Ừ,
cho con à, cho
ừ.
vocabulary cái có hai cho lu vocabulary cái cú nhìn nó nhẹ đô nè,
Con
mà
nhiệt luôn chứ?
khen,
Ok.
nếu
Ừ,
mà khen là cái cú thiên ca xe nè, hay
ừ.
có một hai cho được họ tới là cái cú thiên ca xe con nè.
Okay. What about the rest of you?
I think it's pretty helpful. I do like kind of like I think that's an important piece of learning the language a little bit better, obviously, to kind of learn some words here and there. I think my thing is I since I don't know that much Hmong, and I'm still learning, I wanted to learn more things that are more conversational things that like everyone does use, like a lot of Hmong people use. Um, so like I guess the months and days of the year, I don't even know like the way most people commonly use it. And was still trying to learn that method first too. So I think learning first the ways that most people use it in the Hmong community would be helpful as well.
Okay, thank you. In intermediate three, which I'm still building that class, will be more focused on conversation skills. So let's say you're conversing about eating food or going places or having a meeting or something. I'm still working on building that curriculum in intermediate three so that once you start reading and going into history study, then you want to work on your conversation so that name when you can just speak fluid without hesitating what to say or how to say. So that's one of the classes that I'm still working on building. Anybody else have anything to comment on that too?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, very similar to the previous comment. Like I have very little Hmong language skills, and so learning the vocabulary has been really helpful. But I think something that would help me is how do I apply that? And I know that in this beginner's course, we're learning more so like the alphabet, the construction of words. But I think it would be helpful to know like how do we apply these vocabularies? And I'm really interested in writing in Hmong. So I don't know if that's like in another course in a more
Yep,
advanced class where we're actually learning to
intermediate
construct
two.
sentences.
In
Yeah.
intermediate
Yeah. And
two, you'll
so
start
mhm.
writing more sentence, phrases, sentence, paragraph. So you'll start doing that in intermediate two. And I know some struggle, and I just tell them, do your best. As long as you do something, I'm not going to hold it against you. So that's one thing. And the reason why I keep throwing these vocabulary out there is I want our Hmong student to know that in Hmong language, we're very rich in vocabularies. It's just that when we're not exposed to it enough, then we don't hear them. So then it makes us feel like we don't know or we don't have such words. So, for example, like maybe a hamburger. Now, in Hmong families, we don't eat hamburgers, so when we probably don't even have a term for it. And then is that's okay because when we go to American fast food restaurant, we'll eat that and we can speak English, so that's fine. Thế nhưng mà Hmong nè, lui hamburger thì Hmong chỉ là hoa luôn dũa nữa sao? Non dũa nữa sao nè? So that's a very simple, and dũa is just a dough. In plain language, it's just a dough, and then it's just for simplicity. Now, yesterday I was also talking to a colleague of mine about a term for clown because I was listening to some politician and they were referencing to a clown. And then I asked my friend, "Bei mong bu mo lo lu for clown?" And he said, "Yes, we do." Nên từ tàu ya đất chỉ to clown. Take a guess.
Well, whenever my kids are being silly, I just say "Chả nếp ta lấu luôn." So cú xí là ta lấu sa.
Okay, talo, that's good. Any other one?
I don't use this word anymore, but I remember growing up for like dolls and Barbie dolls. We used to call them yayu, but yeah,
Ulita?
minyo yayu, no na.
Yeah, you don't know what.
Yeah, see? Now I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay, it's okay. Don't worry. But as long as you're sharing, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
I think what she means is the mia aya. Cho
No.
cho ra, cho ra.
Cho má
Yeah, I
lo,
don't.
minyo
cho
cho má lo.
Don't mind, but then I remember we used to call them like yayu, loli chana.
Mm,
I think something like plastic doll. I think that's where you're going with, but
Yeah, that
that's what I'm
sounds
thinking.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, cái tu clown á, bé mong hùa tu ra nó. Nó lu ra nó thì it's just someone who exaggerates or make something bigger than it is, or it could be also an entertainer. Tu ra. So in English, cái mong ra đan năng so tu ra nó thì ya mo Pietro li mi ka story na thì tu ra nó the Joker. Thì thầu u mi ka là the kingdom in Europe lấy một nhân Joker to entertain the tamoli. Cái mong thì hoa tu ra nó ya itu entertainer back in the day. Mỗi lúc giờ thôi lúc giờ ta chỉ tu ra nó mà đi chơi tu nâng muốn nhau. Tu ra nó ya tung cho sản nhị thôi.
Yeah. See, that's a term I use, but I would never have put that with a clown.
Mm. Yeah. So Hmong là lu clown nó chia tu ra. So cũng chỉ mà tiền wow, that's interesting. You either bỏ mấy cái clown tờ tờ đó chứ mà you nhìn ta thì you chỉ muốn là lu tờ clown đó chứ là tờ tất cả này có một tí trong xã the type of work they do, the description and the character thì tu ra fit that description. Okay. Thank you for So tonight there's no quiz, but there will be one next week. So last week we covered singular consonant in combination with vowels and tone markers. And then tonight we'll be covering dual consonant with vowels and tone markers. And then next week you will have a fourth quiz. Now let me check and see what that fourth quiz. Okay, the fourth quiz and the fifth quiz is going to be more like they're not going to be letters anymore. It's going to be words. So we hike lo lu lo. So there's a question each of the singular consonant words and then beta blow the plural dual consonant words. Not the it just build up and then Musato the final exam in beginners there will be three phrases, actually 3 word Hmong phrases, 4 question, and then it's either wait. Okay, so the fourth quiz is going to be single words, and then the fifth quiz is going to be 3 words phrases, and then the final exam is going to be 10 word phrase. And in the final exam, the difference is all 4 questions, the sentence are exactly the same, but I'm going to mix the consonant, the vowels, and the tone marker all jumble up. Only one of them is correct. Your job is to pay attention to the correct consonant, the correct vowels, and the correct tone marker all the way through from the first word to the last word and select the correct answer. And the reason why I do that is as part of the editing task where you're reading other people's work, you will see a lot of that. So I want to see how well you're paying attention to those Hmong words, whether if they make sense or not. That's the whole idea of the final exam. Make sense? It may be a little bit challenging, but I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Right? So let's get to the lesson tonight. Let me share the screen. Okay. So in Hmong language, how would you normally call a husband or a wife in Hmong? Take a guess.
Cô tự sĩ,
Okay. To see. What about the wife?
bọn nè,
Vanya. Okay. Any other examples beside that one?
You know, like had the okutukulo or kutulu, but then it's not, in specify the gender.
Okay. Which one detail?
But I've definitely heard both of these terms as well
Okay.
from the PowerPoint.
từ xin cờ,
Tinga. Okay.
cái cô tu nè ta chúa,
Tunyatachua. Okay, good. So when you go out into public and people ask you, who is this? Oh, this is my husband. This is my wife. The Hmong, the appropriate word, là lalu ti tia na. Lalu no is shared between Hmong đau Hmong lần tứ xia. So, có từ Hmong đau Hmong lần là lấy những gì lalu no. To husband, ya tu tu trong. Cú lần tu trong. Hoặc to wife thì cú lần ta ra. Thì cho lu nó bây giờ mua hậu cứ chia lọ. Ừ. Mong bên mua hậu cứ chia lọ. Hay thì tu lần tu trong thì tu lần ta ra là thì to husband and the wife. Now, beside this, nhớ tôi số tê, okay? Bên mong bên mua lo lùi tiề, trong cỏ, mua trong hoặc cỏ. Thì bên chỉ là associate lo lùi trong cỏ nó to wedding, right? Bây giờ lên đó.
Yes. Yeah.
But in reality, trong cỏ in China, Chong is a bride, Go is a groom. Nó số tê à. Go nó mà tí là tụ go nó. Yeah, lấy tụ go tỉa, the handle of the knife, tụ go tỉa, yeah, go. Họ Chong là tí, what you're letting the water float along. Yeah, có một Chong bài là. Tí tụ go nhá, yeah, tụ Chong. Họ tụ tụ trong, yeah, tụ go. Nên nhá hỗ chế thì có tụ, the handle knife is against you. You're holding it with you. Thì tụ tu nè tụ nhá hỗ chế thì nè tụ go. Okay. So mong ta lu cho lên tới thì giờ nên một sao bị số tế thì lấy kìa nè hành câu nhá thiên đâu vào lấy bao à nè kìa tụ trong thế tụ coi cho tụ tư ở trong nhân nó coi nhân tới này nè thì bé lọ tôi giá và mừng nó thì bé chỉ là muốn trong thiết có một apply to wedding ta chỉ thì trong có trở lên mong số thì is the groom and the bride họ tu trong theo ta ra này thì husband and wife thì phi thầu của cỡ tao lên nó thì tất cả nó thì cũng những cũng một cái từ lần thôi thì tôi nói cái tôi nhớ là của tôi nói của tôi ta ra ừ.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Yeah. And then going forward, kỹ năng theo kỹ năng thì còn nó là của cỡ tất cả nó thiết thầu bé mù trong banquet or event thì mình gặp phải the ladies and gentlemen thì còn nó thì nên tiếp bỏ hay thì ladies thì là kỹ năng and gentlemen là kỹ năng thì thầu bé như muốn là lu Mr. theo Mrs. tu sĩ thọ tu Mr. nó thì bé hoa kỳ họ tu Mrs. là tu Miss nó thì bé hoa kinh thằng thì all là lu nữa all tu nhá all là lu nữa all là lu cần cầu hoa cá thì bí thư thì lá sĩ thì cũng hoa thì kỳ lá sĩ thì Mr. lá sĩ in mong nè kỳ lá sĩ lấy thì kỳ JV thì tu kỳ này là for male hay kỳ này thì là tu female thì cũng thì kỳ mua kỳ Chandy kỳ Deborah nó thì bé mong là lu này thì so ya miss là ya Mrs. Y ya tí lao luôn này chứ sự phổ mong à. Any questions on those or do you find them interesting?
Yeah, it's really interesting to me, just because I've never heard of this before. So this is really good for me to learn the right ways to say it instead of the borrowed words.
Yeah, so I learned these two and I started using them and sometimes people even question me, what does that mean or why do you use that? So cũng như explain cho nó cũng như thật sự sĩ cả là nuôi của thế trong bia. So that is me. Okay. And then Ki Zheng is a married woman. One thing that talking of these, bé mong na thầu, giờ ít tụ bao nhiêu mua tí lặng, bé tờ tọ tê là nói tia, tụ nói giờ lăng tư, tụ bao nhiêu na lăng tư, tia này tụ tí hoa tọa, tia bé cháu tụ nói giờ nhẹ tọa, nhẹ bó, nhẹ dê, bài tụ husband lúng bê, họ nhớ tụ lừa hay nâng, nhớ li, giờ tia có muốn cho tọ cho school, có giờ tụi mình nhớ là tụi nhẹ thì lấy những hồi tia giờ qua 3年啊，lấy số年啊，lấy khu linh đó by tụi mình nhớ, especially at a school setting, but in the community setting, thì lấy tụi mình tới tụi tì lung bê lần, lấy chỉ hồ tới tụi bọn nhẹ lung bê lần go, thì cũng nuôi tới Japanese, tôi thấy thì the church I go to, they have a lot of Japanese sisters. Thì cũng tên nuôi tới Japanese nữa hay thì not only Japanese system ne honorific system ne thầu ne who each other ne bù who hay thì Miss like Mrs. Takayaki or whatever that last name may be, like you know, bé muốn tới tụi mình nhỏ hay thì Eugene's mom or Shinshi's mom or something like that. Đâu hai linh đâu xong. Tôi cũng thấy thì interesting. Thì chị cũng có in nhà bé mong có là addressed by to husband luôn bé. But I also thought that to husband name they tell up what oh that's angels Mr. Angel or something which would sound very odd or doesn't make any much sense. So I'm just putting some thought out there, and that's why I'm just bringing this to the discussion idea. Tope Monte, a lot of time Tope Andra, the married woman, they home by the husband's wife, or the husband Mrs. Uh, JV or Mrs. Lashy or something like that. Any questions on that too? All right, awesome. Okay, so today we're going to be covering dual consonant, single vowels with tone markers, and then dual consonant with double vowels and tone markers. Have you guys received that picture? Somebody asked me to send in the picture of the diagram for the different tone, and then I also send in the video that kind of goes over it. Have you looked through that and see if it's helpful?
Yes, I find it very helpful.
Okay. So this one gonna be cha, a, ji, xia, cha, cha, a, ji, gu, cha, de, cha, a, ji, xia, cha, shi, cha, like interwoven, cha, a, ji, gu, cha, cha, bu, a, cha, a, ji, xia, che, de, cha, a, ji, xia, che, che, je, e, cha, e, ji, xia, chi, cha, e, ji, nia, chi, cha, e, ji, du, chi, cha, e, ji, gu, chi, cha, e, ji, xia, chi, chi, nung. Now that is kind of like, I don't know if that even means scolding, but it's not a nice word. All right. Cha, e, ji, nia, chi, chi, xia, cha, e, ji, du, chi, du, chi, cha, e, ji, gu, chi, ja, chi. Now, going back to this chi, I would like to ask your opinion and what are your thoughts on this as student. At one point, when I was still with 18 Council, I did thought that bây giờ y hải mong bây tôi một bây lù bây một bây tuần tàu. How come we don't have our national flag? Chỉ là national flag thì lúc đấy chờ tụ chi đó,但是嘛，呀海tụ chi. And then also have a national anthem where 俾每醫生go high 一林冇好誒頭俾話俾到 not 出俾中地俾好風上 go high 俾住參冇好媽當 go high 嗱係the Star Spangled Banner yes 俾咗啲全面㗎啦嘛但是俾全面㗎啦俾入蒙嗱 so what are your thoughts on those before we move on?
I don't know if I remember correctly. I know a couple years back there was like a bunch of or groups. There's multiple groups among people trying to make a flag, trying to design it. Was that something that ever, or am I just thinking somewhere crazy and stuff?
Mm.
Because I want to say, like I said, a couple years back, multiple people kept thinking we're trying to design a Hmong flag, but I don't know how far it went because, as you know, with different personalities, each group has their own insight, and they can't agree on anything. So that's why Like I said, I want to say that's what they talked about a couple years back, but again, I was never really too much into it. I just kind of, yeah, it is what it is.
Hmm. Great input.
I think for me, I've seen like clans have their own flags, but I've never seen like a kind of like one flag to represent Hmong people. Um, but even like for clan flags, I only like have seen like two of them. So I don't know
Hmm.
what the others are. But that's all I'm familiar with in terms of flags for the Hmong people.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I remember there was a group that they developed their own flag that they brought to represent their nationality, especially in sport and other events. But like chỉ lấy thế này nhỏ, nên chỉ tao approved by Hmong in general, cái cụ thể hay to 18 council hay tia, we need to develop something that như sở chỉ đồng Hmong tan cho a gò. It's a symbol that stands for who we are rather than a specific image for a particular group. It's got to be some kind of a unique symbol that represents the nationality as a whole. So, eka nhà thiết chỉ một chỉ nhà a lử nu thì tao mình nhon lo tua thì là kìa. Is that a Hmong flag? Well, not for me. I never heard of it or seen it. Nè kì biết chả có sĩ thua bê. Now, I see a Hmong flag that was developed by Pahao, which is a language institute. They developed this flag. They use it way back in Laos. They still have it in their office nowadays. It has great meanings to it, but they only kept it among themselves. And was thinking about a flag that can be used openly to represent Beta Hmong in general, where whoever sees the flag can feel proud of the image, the meaning, the colors that is chosen to put into that flag, but that's some work down the future. Now, I think it would take a lot of research to understand who we are, where we come from, what symbols would best represent us, and so on and so forth. So that's some work to discuss down the road. But it's a good point that I just want to share with the class. So maybe there's something you can think about. And then maybe next class, after this, close to the finals, I will put together those clan symbols to share with you what each symbol represents, and we can talk about the details of that at that time. Okay, so o, cho, o, chỉ xia cho, cho, o, chỉ nhẹ cho, cho, o, chỉ đu cho, cho, o, chỉ cú cho, cho, o, chỉ xia cho, cho, to khó, cho, o, chỉ nhẹ cho, cho hành, crooked tree, cho, o, chỉ đu cho, đu cho, cho, o, chỉ cú cho, cho, wom bo. So cha is like bad omen. Cha u jindu chu. Cha u jindu chu chi. So chu chi from the description is like someone who kept mumbling about doing something bad or they're angry at something. U cha u ji gu chu touch. Cha u ji gu chu chu dong. Okay, and then we'll go to the double vowels. cho ai chỉ muốn trai cho ai chỉ muốn trai hữu tứ cho ao chỉ xia trao cho ao chỉ xia trao trao lâu mong là lù trao lâu nữa thì crawling in your belly cho ao chỉ cú chở cho ao chỉ muốn chỉ chở cho ao chỉ muốn chở cho ao chỉ cú chở lù chở nữa thì rough languages cho ao chỉ muốn chỉ chở chở nhau cho ao chỉ muốn chở khó chở like an escape hole anh cho anh chỉ xia chân cho anh chỉ nhà chân cho anh chỉ đu chân cho anh chỉ xia chân chân chân. Okay, so Lalu chân chân, what does it mean to you guys? Take a guess.
Maybe neighborhood?
Yeah, neighborhood. It could be chân trả or chân chờ. Bên nhau từ chân trả đó nè. Alright. Okay. Cho anh chỉ nhà chân chân kế. So putting a stop or slowing traffic. Cho anh chỉ đu chân. Or chân like struggling to survive or thầu từ mình nhỏ more tantrum. Chân hoặc chân. Cho cho wa chỉ mua chỉ chua cho wa chỉ mua chỉ chua chuan dia snatching. Okay, so the lesson for this one is done. So any question that you have that you wanted to share in class, we still have about 13 minutes left.
I just wanted to ask a question about the homework assignments. So is it that the like for the assignment one, I got the email with the worksheet yesterday, so would it be due today or is it next week it's due?
I don't know if I put a due date on them. No,
Oh, okay,
as
okay.
soon as you can turn it in, the better it is. Because you don't
Okay,
want to
okay.
pile it up and then rush through it at the last minute.
Okay, yeah, because that's something that I was a bit confused on. Oh, like when is it due? So I was panicking like, oh, like I just got the email yesterday. Did I miss the deadline? But yeah, okay. But thank you for the clarity because I didn't know when it was due. So
Yeah.
I have my answers. Yeah, thank you.
No, I can put like a due date on it that I just don't want to be like that with my student. You guys are not uh not like in high school or college where your main focus is just learning. You all have busy lives, your parents, yourself, or you're going through college or so on and so forth. So I want to be a little lenient because when I put too much pressure on Nina, the E day is too much you can't handle, you drop out. Or the it's like, who's this guy? Why is he being such a jerk? So I don't want to give you guys that impression for this class.
Thank you. Yeah, that helps me know. And I really appreciate the flexibility as well. Just because just even this week, because I thought with the email, I was like, oh, did I get this late? And so I was trying my best to try to finish it, but I didn't make it in time. But thank you for the flexibility because that helps me balance my other work that I do. So thank you.
You're welcome. I don't know if I mention this for last class or any time, but there was one word that 被蒙蒙我习老鲁黑地啊鲁聂鲁姑. Have any of you heard Hmong la lu tia lu nia lu ku?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Anybody else?
I have.
Now, Hmong la lu hai tia lu nia lu ku, is that a good word or a bad word?
Good to me.
I think
Okay.
it's good too.
Okay. Anybody else? So the reason why I brought it up because a lot of words bei Hmong hai na, because we never have a clear definition of it, so we tend to associate it with the wrong time, wrong space, or wrong association. So Hmong la lu nia lu ku na ti, automatically whoever heard of it, Leia de Wu lu nia lu ku is words that embodies gold and silver or richness, right? Kuya Linda.
Yeah, sounds like it to me.
But in the reality, Hmong la lu hai tia lu nia lu ku na thọ u na, mà Hmong hai tia tia lu nia lu ku na ti, it's word that you have to bear, even if you don't like it. Có chi nhia là có gia tàu nhiều, cái tàu nông nè, tiểu lù nó tiểu lù cú or cú hai tiểu mà mò có hành đạo, especially tàu lấy chỉ dụ, chỉ là cái ấy tụi nâng có một tàu, một chỗ lâu tròn đâu là một cái chúa một cái kỳ lạ, chỉ tụi ya tôi cho con nó chỉ là chỉ tu nè, lấy anh thầy nè, mông rồi xong á, quý hãy tiểu lù nhia lù cú tụi con, ta xin nó nè. Mà tiểu lù nó lấy chỉ hai đi của hai ta nó tiệt tiểu lù nó cái giờ tàu nhia cái giờ tàu dần cái giờ tàu lông chân mò chân cú là cái tàu thể nó giờ they don't not describe it that way lấy chỉ là hai tiểu lù nhia lù cú nó thứ gì yêu chỉ bao thì yêu chỉ wow giờ lù nhia lù cú giờ tiểu lù wow giờ ba cả thôi của lù rong ta số ta com lông thì你中了跳。tổ chỉ bao tiền này sử dụng nhân lực cũ tiền là hai trăm lục từ ba chỉ tỷ trăm lục cho rong cho có thì cái điều ya cho nên trăm lục nhân lực cũ họ nói cho tiền cho nên mà cái hai lục nhân lực cũ mà ở chỗ là hai trăm lục mình chỉ thay lại yêu chỉ trở ít trăm lục hai mà yêu chỉ trở họ hai trăm lục nhân lực cũ thế nói what is that thì có clear definition of la lu nhân lực cũ thì giờ ít trăm lục hai mà và cái tàu nhia tàu rằng 我呢種窿，我呢種睇，亦都係論嚟都唔夠。Yeah, Chandy.
Yeah, thank you, Linkai, for that explanation. That's the first time I've ever heard that. I guess my question to add to that is what is your perspective on how Hmong people kind of high little like reverse psychology, linda na yo.
Mm.
And so we use a lot of metaphors and we use a lot of what I would consider hard love growing up. And so what is your perspective on that?
My perspective is that reverse psychology, the use of it for ancient time is good. Tôi hỏi tiền lúc xưa nói thì bây giờ những chỉ muốn kết thúc, chỉ muốn đau, thì đây là hai bây thì là hai out of cái chỉ thế này ạ. Thầu bây giờ rong mà lại sai thì lại chỉ để cái ý sau lại chạy cái ý sau但是頭個到頭幾佢咪咩嚟啲，你係咪係識沙啲係冇貓用？啲你係啲咗喏，咪有路呢路估呢？那又邊？啲有 reverse psychology。但是 in my perspective, in nowadays, in modern day life, 那啲 the reason why I developed change is that I want to develop a curriculum where we can learn like in Hmong class now a be on certain topic, it got better, we call clear understanding. Hay thì cho chú ý nó yên linh nó, cho lù nó yên linh nó này có sẽ là cái sẽ ý giả, nó chỉ nghĩ cho lù giờ thâu cái mùa cái lù nâng có thể chỉ dụ kế, cú chỉ khoa kia khoa nó mà nhân đạo, cú chỉ khoa này,但是cú cho này, nè nè, có, bây từ là từ mua kế cỡ. Baker, the ILU institution law, it doesn't matter if tu lần cài nó nên James Bolitia law, do có cờ tia hậu lũ tăng cờ hậu law thì bây ý giả, just like everybody that graduated from college. Now, maybe Harvard may have some okay professors and may have some top professors, but it doesn't matter which professor you got your lesson from. You graduated from Harvard or U of M. Thì bây mong thì có toàn đây nó, từ bây mua cho cử Charlie, sau kia, dòng bố lý tiền là tiền này cử tiền họ change là chỉ any other institution là, này giờ cú muốn cờ lú tăng cờ nó cú cờ tôn tao giả hành hoặc là cú mua cái bỏ tê đá bỏ lú nâng giả toàn tê cú yêu lý giả cho cú lú nâng là I am fully confident of the knowledge I have. Nó chỉ it makes you feel more complete. Đồ lý bây chỉ mua cho lú nó chỉ bây nhỏ nhỏ bây ở thầu cái ý con mà yo ta dòng tên nhà cứ đi tên nâng cha thì là tôi muốn trợ ít tê sơ xa chỗ ta là chỉ cho chế từng ta dùng một giọt công sản bên gì rõ thế. We're not going to do that no more in the future. That's my take on it.
Thank you.
Hey, since you asked me, what are your thoughts on my reply?
Well, I guess being a child that grew up during the 80s, I really feel like I've had the opportunity to live in both worlds now, just learning who we are as a people and also working through a lot of historical and intergenerational trauma, and even just working on my own healing journey with myself and my parents. And so, you lonely no synergy, you te boshitana yo,
Mm,
back then we're younger and we're all trying to survive. Nè chị chỉ một con nữa nè, nè chị cho cái lũ rồi you chính sợ hại tự đâu luôn từ đi, rồi lũ you lo rồi nhưng chỉ sợ hại đâu you thế, rồi cho mò gió mò đâu you mò theo nhỏ đâu you bự he, mò chế đâu you nhỏ, xin nó nè, that's
yeah,
their love language, right?
yeah,
And so, growing up, then oli ko hai na za pe mi nhỏ mong mi ka lo, pe chi yo mi ka ta ri he no na ke,
yeah,
growing up in that divide and ke you need you see yo te lo yo oli ko hai mo yo kon do lo li ka na ke jong li lo hai tao chen chai he nyen ha do you, but then cho lù nó này kia hơi ít cho lù cho giống xứ bởi trong này mong chỉ tao cỡ sao còn đấy nè, ở
yeah,
mong chỉ tao này kia thằng đấy này kia yêu shit tới lù nó trong này survival tao tao muốn đi xí nè,
yeah, good,
giờ hai tiệp ấy tại vì nó bây giờ sao mày nó kia lòng lời mình chỉ nó kia ô đi của hai của lâu đi nó xứ của tết chơi thản thôi của nhẹ của chỉ của mà chơi kho nó nè.
yeah, no,
So it's been helping my parents to really open up to me with how I'm healing myself so that I can teach them. Language. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, I would love to see someday where change can kind of go in that direction too, perhaps, or be inspired to start using Hmong words in a way where we can start to show love and affection through the words versus like Jenny Loon, Zeng Moon, Zeng Loli, no, na, yeah.
yeah, man,
ก็係連到大先你記我哋個係 and Kuli 哦，比賽啲有路看到上色，but 啲人記 it has a negative connotation behind it.
yeah,
你記我老年老師我都只包呐，so that was an eye opener for me.
yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
I think I do agree with you on that too. The hobby had there been a bit, thầu ý lý thầu lỡ cho có chỉ thầu là cái là ít cho lòng mà là hay tiền ôi cha cô chén nha cô cho luôn nha lục cú hay cho có chỉ họ là nè có bố cho luôn nè tức khi cho có tiền có khởi chén nha cho luôn nha lục cú nữa cho mà có luôn nên tôi giờ tận đây có thể bao tiền luôn nên nhiều buổi sáng đi trả có chỉ khởi bé cho luôn nha lục cú nào nè có cho muốn tiền lên từ tôi hay nè bố mà lên từ tôi hay cho luôn nha lục cú nào cho có chia có nè có ti chia có tổ thân chạy chia có tổ ti chia có tổ nhá tổ nô chỉ cái tê vì tên giàu chia tổ chức thân có mà là chỉ hay cho luôn nha lục cú nào đó có nó nè họ ít
Right.
cho mà lỡ lỡ mót bể trâu sợ ó ít cho mà lỡ mót hay trâuอยู่hay tiệt cho vì đi cha có tới chim luôn cho lụi lỡ ít từngตัวcho con nữa chỉ cho có ít cho mà lỡ mót nữ hay trôi có mót mót cho có chỉ cho có cho ít tôi nên ca xia lỡ cho lù nữa cho lỡ mót thọ cho lỡ thọ và có lúc nên kì có một chi hậu lửa là con chơi tè chế có khờ là cho lù nó cho một có lúc nên chỉ con chơi tè chỉ có một lần đầu mỹ rừng đó cho có chế nên là nó chỉ có mấy ý
Yeah.
mỹ rừng nó chỉ lúc tới chỉ có tôi một lúc nên có tôi mấy ý mỹ rừng nó ở chỉ có họ chỉ tốt thôi ấy có lúc này nó có một cái cho tôi mỹ rừng có thì bao hay chỉ có lúc này nó có tiêu do một ở tàu dùng dùng bộ chả có tôi chia ít tôi nên nhảy dọc cái tôi nên lầu nè chỉ là cho lùi của nó họ cho lầu là khó khăn đồ tế là hai trâu chỉ được khai mà của họ liền là đó
Mm. 我找个时天，我找了对啊，我几时天，OK，估计莫了那就对他一梦了，so กูมาจอนี่จะได้มุสามาหน่อยมาจินละกูมา link get the material sent out to Nate. If you haven't turned in your homework, I can get it graded and get it back to you. So thank you for coming to class tonight, and you all have a great night.
Hey, Lin Guy. I did have something I wanted to ask you.
Sure,
Just us two, if that's okay.
sure, Toma.
Okay.
Boa, you have anything else?
Nope.
Okay.
Good.
Well, good night, Boa.
All right. Good night, Minka.
Okay, Lashi.
Yeah. Let me turn on my camera for this too. So, sorry, it's a little blurry. Uh, okay, there you go.
Okay.
Hi. So I don't know if you knew, but I don't know if my parents have ever mentioned to you, but I am also I'm a healthcare provider. I'm a dietitian, and I have my own business and my own private practice too. So
Yeah,
I work with people who have like diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure. And kind of the reason why I took this class was so I could learn Hmong better, so I can, cater to the Hmong community as well too. So it's something. It's just the start of the journey. I'm very grateful for everything so far, and I feel like I'm picking up a lot. But I wanted to ask you because I'm still trying to grow. I'm still trying to help with people that do speak English too, that are Hmong, and I want to see if you knew of any like doctors or anyone else that I can, other people that I can connect with, so people know more about my business and what I do. Just trying to spread my business name and what I do a little bit more around the Hmong community. And I know that you're the head of the organization, you're head of change, and I'm sure that you know other people as well too that I could potentially connect with to kind of connect and network better.
sure. If you can get your brochure, or if you already have one that has your information, you can email it to me and I can promote it on the Change website or Change Facebook page, because I do have a large network base on there that they do come and follow my updates all the time. So at least they will be able to see what you're offering. Yes, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, no, that would be greatly appreciated. I do have a brochure, I have a website and everything. But I can send you the brochure for now. I'm currently working on the website, adjusting some things as well too. So
Okay,
maybe I can send the website link later on.
okay. Well, Lima.
Yeah.
So I did have a chance to meet with your parent over the weekend with You know Dr. Galia.
Dr. Kalia, what do they do again?
She recently got her doctorate degree last year in 2024, and they were doing a Day for her and other graduate in group three na,
Oh,
over this
okay,
past
okay.
weekend. Yeah, and your parents were there. So I did get a chance to spoke with the parent and told them how great you are in class.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. Yeah, no. I actually do not know that doctor. But are they doctorate, but are they medical or is it a different doctor?
No, she's a doctor in education, and
An
her,
education, okay.
yeah, and according to what I heard from her, because she did an interview why I started change and what is my motivation for starting change, and then she shared about her, not to me, but at the event of her, hopefully today, she mentioned about her a master's program and doctorate program. The professor kind of offended her in a sense where do you even know English enough to pass these graduate studies or something like that? So they
Wow.
kind of looked down on her. And then she challenged herself in education where she wanted to change the scope of learning. It got to prejudge by others, and how can we do that? So that was
Mm,
her scope, and I was like, that's really good. And I know that prejudice is is prevalent, is there. It just
yeah.
depends on where we go. Let's say Yapimukandanya in Minnesota has a large, diverse group. You're probably not going to hear any of that from any of the professors in the metro area unless that professor is very racist for whatever reason. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
They're very open to diversity. You're not going to hear that. They come to a smaller city or a smaller location where white is very prevalent in those communities, then yeah, you might experience prejudice in those places too. Mm.
Right. Yeah. No, no, that's definitely that sounds like what she's doing is very powerful and there's like definitely a need for it as well too. Because like you mentioned, prejudice does exist and it's pretty really prevalent. Like and I think there are a lot of people that just don't show the prejudice, but they will still do it behind the scenes.
Right.
So yeah. So now that's awesome. Good for her. I think that's good. And you said you did an interview with her?
Yes, I did an interview with her because she wanted to learn what I'm doing for change, why I started change, and then I told her about my dreams and goals. What I wanted to do with change is to develop a curriculum for learning where how can we learn faster, more efficient, so we don't have to um like drill 3 months into the program just to get the basics or things like that. So 呢度冇話 Shannon Moore 聽個睇咗啲呢個 the speech and
Oh, speech language, yeah.
yeah, where Sunday if we can develop like a phonetics for every consonant, 你個你薄嘅段到呢係嘅，到你要試然蒙得是錄錯一咗. How do
Hmm.
you write 咗呢個? Get right away without even having second guesses. Đúng.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. No, I think that will really bridge everything together because I feel like that's usually the toughest part. It's hard to explain those things that aren't easy, that aren't natural to
Right.
the English speakers right away. So yeah, but no, thank you for sharing that too. Um, I figured you know a lot of people, so I wanted to ask you and for my situation as well too. And I think honestly, what I do, I'm really passionate about what I do. Work heavily on the medical side, help people with those conditions, but also help people with weight loss too. And I am very like culturally inclusive. I think about how Hmong foods and Hmong culture affects, people's perceptions on diet and what's healthy, and talk about, how can we still eat healthy, even though we are Hmong. And, whenever we think about food, healthy food, we think about like the Western diet, mainly the Miga diet only. But there's ways to include Hmong diet, Hmong food, and still be healthy too. It's just, the proper education, the proper portion, and everything. So, very passionate about what I do, and I think that a lot of Hmong people. I've worked with some Hmong people already, a lot of Hmong people already. I just want to continue to reach out more and more people, and I take health insurance too. So it's not a huge financial thing. It's just trying to get my name out there more and explain what I do.
Yeah, just to ask you when you mentioned about weight loss, and my wife and I were looking into something of that nature, but then we're not someone very active. We don't,
Yeah,
with me doing all this type of work, I don't even have time to hit the gym. But I've been doing some research on what can we, excuse me, what can we do to trigger the metabolism. So it doesn't matter what age you are. If you can trigger the metabolism where whatever you eat, you don't have to worry about what you consume because the activity that you're doing is breaking down the food at rapid rate. It's burning like a furnace, and you keep in good shape. 诶，ก็是not that you not 到 It doesn't matter what age you are.
yeah.
So I've been looking into something like that.
And what did you find? What did you find?
There are some other stuff that I have not. I bought material. I bought book. I have not looked into it and read it thoroughly to see what is what are the compounds or what are they suggesting to do that could really break the mechanism. 嗯，nhớ lý thảo u a lot of our health experts, they may say something that is best practice or best knowledge in the time or the era that they're professing in, right?
Right,
But
right.
as time progresses, information change, new
Yeah.
discoveries are made, and and when new discoveries are made, a lot of time we tend to shun it aside and say, "Oh, that was
Yeah.
right?" And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
and I'm the kind of guy who like to explore, take risk and explore things that are beyond human comprehension.
Mhm.
And I like doing that because then it allows me to explore new things.
Yeah.
And then cái tờ lô tê chiến tranh là của yêu một sĩ ya te ha chỉ vơ là của cả lịa ya te vơ
Yeah.
là của uam mù. And I
Mhm.
love doing things like that. That's why của thiên nu có thiên của own research để mà của chỉ tao sĩ kia của
Yeah.
nó lấy ra there are certain tricks that you can do with your eyes so you can get a 20/20 vision again and not have to ever wear your eyeglasses or with your
Oh,
hearing. Yeah,
that's funny.
I like to explore those options, but I'm just too busy that I don't even have time to focus on those health aspects. Look like there right now, my mind is so focused on um between now and 40 years from now, how much can I deliver to the Hmong communities with my talent and skills and expertise? What can I deliver to the Hmong community before I leave Earth? So that's
Mhm.
what I'm focusing on. a lot of our leaders, they're thinking about making a great name for themselves and having a good time chilling, drinking beers and all that, but that's not my passion. So I wanted to focus on between now to thầu về cú đã có mù bền đủ rồi cú xã lọ chỉ sẽ cú ở top chơi ya. What kind of a legacy can I leave behind, not just for my family, for all the Hmong people? You know,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a good point. And you want to make sure that you have enough experience and as you're experiencing things, you're able to pass on that experience to other people as well too.
right.
So yeah. To answer your question though about the metabolism and stuff, I guarantee you, like, just there is not a single thing out there with food or nutrition that's ever going to be able to do those sort of things, in terms of burning your metabolism and stuff like that without you having to try. I think if we want to boost metabolism, it always comes down to like increasing our regular, if not exercise. I know you don't work out, but increasing regular physical activity, walking, stepping more, moving around more during the day. I think those things really help with increasing your metabolism. And then there is, medication, but then like, those weight loss medications, maybe you've heard of it and stuff too. But those ones I don't usually recommend because they do have a lot of adverse effects on the body too. They can cause like kidney failure, liver problems and stuff, especially if you don't have a medical issue like diabetes. That's what they were made for. So it can get kind of dangerous, with anything as magical, as powerful as that, there's always some sort of consequence. So I don't usually advise that. So, but sorry, I don't know if that was the right answer that you were looking for, but I think it is the truth. And that's what my coaching, what I do is I educate people on that and help people coach people on how to still be able to live healthier, not be perfect, So
Mm.
how to be the healthiest version of themselves and still be able to be with family, commit time to work, commit time to family, commit time to the community.
Yeah.
So um so it's like a lot of very practical, helpful small steps for people. That's what I do and specialize in.
Thank
Um,
you for sharing. Have you heard of mental healing?
Mental healing is that one is that like a business company?
It's not a business, it's a practice or a concept.
Mm,
I learned this a long time ago. I used it and it's very effective almost every time.
mm,
And I try to help some people in doing it, but one thing I learned is that a lot of people are quickly resorting to instant gratification. So it's very hard for them to focus because it requires a lot of focus when they're doing mental healing. And what I meant is like I learned this process where yakamapla la yakamata. It also has something to do with our spiritual too. So when we have an illness and if we always focus on that illness, then our energy that is focusing that on that illness actually makes it the worse because the more we think about it, the more it manifests itself and
yeah.
makes it a reality. But
Hmm.
when we have that illness, but if we shift our focus away from the pain, from the struggle, and we focus on something else and put that pain aside, then eventually the pain will diminish on its own, and before we know it, it's gone. It's no longer there. And it can be done without medication. And then when I heard about the placebo effect, and I was like, it makes so much sense that a lot of times, thầu bé nó chua thì bé chân hay để khó chua nó cho một chậu bé. And because of that mindset that thinking that the medicine is going to do the trick. We believe in it. That even if that medicine is just a bunch of powder that has real no effect, but because we believe in it, then the bây the bây rong ấy bây không believe rong tức là bây giờ oh ya cũng nó có chua na cũng thế rong in reality tôi chỉ là có chua thế nè it's our thought nè thì cũng cỡ lên nó thì mới rồi thì thầu cũng qua hậu lực thì I was a delivery driver so cũng chỉ là móp lá chỉ chẳng while I'm driving thì cũng chẳng damn I may have to call the office and then drop off the inventory so I can go home and get some rest. Thì cũng móc lá chỉ chẳng thì cũng sợ chân no. Cũng chỉ không. I'm not gonna call the office. I'm just gonna not focus on the pain and just focus on delivery, getting my package out throughout the day. Thì cũng xa lên nữa thì the minute cũng focus lên nữa thì ý xong mình cái tất cả thì cũng plá thì lý dòng lại. Cũng thì lý chúng mò lại. Whoa, that's serious? That powerful? And then I tried it with my headache, and it worked too. And then when you did the Takachi, they all call incident, the baby called picnic. The Gunin daughter, law, the more got the maybe go block, not go block, chỉ sang dây cổ tại sông ta. The nếu trong muốn play, thì nó có como bông đâu họ tôi cái dad, I just got stung by a bee, it hurts. You know? Don't think about the bee sting. Just go have fun. Before you know it, the bee sting will be gone. Thì thằng nó của tuần thầy look at cô Lê Hải Dad, are you crazy? It hurts so bad. How can I even have fun or even think about having fun? Cô give it a try. If it doesn't work, chắc chắn là mà mua chụp lẫn. Nó thì niềm mua xí lẫn. Ít blia. Ít xong mong kia thứ thì chắc chắn là Dad, it's gone. Nó tôi của thế. Nè. Thì And I remember back when I was a kid, when I get a bee stung, you fall in nó nhỏ, mò là in hui mò thế hả? Nè.
Yeah. That's crazy, and I do believe in that. I think there is usually a very strong placebo effect at the when we really do believe in something helping us, it usually does really help us too as well. So,
Mm,
but yeah, no, I think I always try to teach that in my practice as well too. Kind of help people kind of believe in themselves a little bit better too, and understand that the advice and suggestions I try to help them with, it's going to help them as long as they, stick through with it. Just like you mentioned, sticking through with not thinking about
mm,
the pain or really believing that something is going to work and doing those things. So, you
mm.
know, um, but no, thank you again. I think I will let you get going too. I don't want to
Okay,
hold you for your night. I know it's later over there too.
okay.
Yeah, go to normal.
Yeah, I had dinner.
You did. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure I'm not holding you for dinner or anything like that too. So,
okay.
but but yeah, I will send over. Do you think email is better, or where should I
Email
send
is
it?
fine. Yeah, you can email it to me and then I will just post it up and change website and Facebook page.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds good. Thank you again for the opportunity, and then also just for listening to me today as well too.
okay. You're welcome. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too. All right. Bye.
Bye.